them till I die. Raise a banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm trying to drop them till I die. Raise a banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire.
Well, hang on. Are we in? We are in. Welcome back to THFC Till We Die, home of Tottenham past, present, and an uncertain future under Thomas Frank.
Wow.
Arsenal did not just beat Tottenham, they embarrassed them. A 4-1 humiliation in the North London derby, and Spurs turned up with no passion, no intensity, no fight. In this player rating show, we're breaking down every awful moment, every collapse, every player who went missing. It matters most. And if you're angry, frustrated, or just tired of watching the same Spurs story on repeat, you're in the right place. Let's talk about what went wrong, who let the team down, where the club goes from here, because that was a disgrace. Keeler? I don't think you can disagree with that, can you?
Not really. I thought it was very telling where normally you start the show with exciting future under Thomas Frank. I noticed you left that part out. I wonder why.
Yeah. Because to be fair to Keeler, and I'm being honest here, I said it last night in the watch along, I am Frank out. And I will tell you why I'm Frank out. I know I was watching Sean today. You actually WhatsApped me about Sean, by the way. So I did put Sean on. And yes, there was good points put across that he needs time with the players. He hasn't been backed. And I heard Daniel Levy's name being mentioned. Ain't Daniel Levy's fucking fault. He's gone. So we need to drop that shit straight off. And what I saw on the pitch yesterday, Tequila, was no organisation, no tactics. He didn't have a clue about what he was trying to do. I mean, that was as bad as we saw it under Ange. And to be fair, Tequila, I know you're probably not going to agree with me with this. At least under Ange, I know we lost there last year and we didn't have the best record against Arsenal. At least the team showed a bit of fight. They didn't show anything yesterday. Now, am I still angry over the game? Yes, I am. Am I probably overreacting? No, I'm not. Is football a funny old game where we could, if we get a great result against PSG, I see what Colin's put in, you bugger. Am I going to be, Frank's the greatest manager in the world? No, I'm not. Because what I saw yesterday was cowardly. Jamie O'Hara said it, and he called it cowardly tactics. And they were. Absolutely. Is there another manager out there, Tequila, that can take it on right now? No. If you're looking at the Bournemouth manager, if you're looking at the Palace manager, are they going to want to move from their clubs to Tottenham? You look at I think it's one of the Italian managers. I think it's Lazio, I think it's Lazio. They might be looking at him. We're a mess, Tequila. We're an absolute mess. And we all laughed about Manchester United being a mess. They're in a far better place than we are. And to be fair, we are where we're supposed to be. I think top 10, we're actually fighting above our weight, even in top 10.
I predicted us to finish. I predicted us to finish 9th. We're exactly in 9th, so I can't really say anything, can I? I'm where I expect us to be. I can't join you with all of it. I'm not Thomas Frank. I'm not Thomas Frank out, really, because as you've just kind of said, I don't see a particular option that's jumping out at me that's saying yes, come, yes. I wrote to everyone remembers Mia, so I left a little message for Mia. I'm going to repeat more or less what I said. I think what we need to do, I don't know if people agree with me or not. We need to stop this whole manager messiah stuff. I do not believe in my heart of hearts there is any manager out there right now that could take our current team and do that much with them. That's not me saying that our performances against Chelsea and Arsenal, in particular those ones. You could add Monaco to the list. That was another one we had no fight. Those three are the ones that spring to mind. I'm not defending Frank at all for that, and he has to be held accountable for motivating the players to a certain degree. But I'm just at the point now is I'm not sure any manager could really do that much with this guy, with our team. I'm not saying that this is the acceptable. I'm just saying I really am struggling. And if there are managers who could do that, they're already well taken, and we would not have a chance of getting them. And that's a small group in my mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so what do we do, Dermo? Because I don't see that many options.
I don't either. Poch could be one, Keeler, but he's not free to after the World Cup, to be fair. And would we want to go back to Poch? I just feel this is a Daniel Levy legacy. This is the legacy he's left us in. And I know Alan Brazil said it in TalkSport this morning, and I did watch it. I couldn't sleep well last night because of that defeat, Keeler. I was fuming with it. And I was because I don't think I would have been mad with the defeat if it was any other team, but because it was a North London derby. And you know how I am in these London derbies and how much it means to me to get. I know it means a lot to you, but you know how much it means to me about passion and desire and fighting for the shirt. And you're the same as me, and you were saying it's a worse XG. I got the stats for the post-match show later, guys. I went through them. It's a worse XG than we had against Chelsea. We've actually beaten our own record, which that says everything you need to know about performance yesterday. But I asked the question to our marvelous source, who we use together. You know him very well, a good lad, always great with us. Yeah. And he put this one. He sent this to me. Now he did say I can use it, so this is a little bit of breaking news for you guys. We'll go in more in depth with it tonight with our panel. But if Spurs lose or underperform in the next few games, domestic and in European, cause for change will be looked at, either the tactical shift or even a manageable review. Make no mistake, today's results has significantly weakened his goodwill buffer. And there was, I read somewhere there was supposed to be a meeting. The why I asked him was, I saw something on Twitter that said there's a meeting within the club tonight. Thomas Frank's job is in severe danger. This is a very possible chance that he's sacked in the morning. If they decide against immediate action, then he needs 2 wins in this week. He is in danger. Just sack him tonight. And that's from somebody on X. And I thought I sent that to my source. No meeting is scheduled for tonight for what our sources have told us at the club here on the channel, but there will be an internal discussion happening over the next few days. So that's the latest from our source, Tequila. Where you want it now? I mean, look, you weren't Angie's biggest fan, but did you ever dream in your dreams that we would get such a drop off with Thomas Frank? And look, I wanted Thomas Frank in before we got Ange, but I didn't think Poch was the Messiah. I do feel Poch is the person to come back to finish his job at some point in his career. But is Tottenham a point? The only way I can discuss it now is Tottenham a poison chalice? Because I think it is.
That depends on the your mate Viv and Charlie and how legit they are.
They're not my mates.
You know what I mean? If Viv and Charlie are for real, and as we've discussed, I have my serious doubts on that one. But if they are, then I do think that in the summer, when Poch is free, probably after USA don't win, sorry, but it's quite unlikely. You can see it maybe being written in the stars, if such a thing, if you want to take that into account, that they're going to bring back the most successful Spurs manager. I know he didn't win the trophy, but league-wise, okay, let's say for argument's sake, league-wise, the most successful manager we've had in our modern era, league-wise. And give him all the money in the world. This is me being this is fantasy booking, right? This is me fantasizing. That was going to happen, but you can see a world where, you can see a world where if if the new ENIC group or the new owners, the new custodians of our club were to get behind a manager, you can see them using Pochettino as that kind of talismanic manager to do so.
No, you're right. You're right.
More than Thomas Frank. And that's not Frank's fault. It's timing.
No.
Timing is the way it is.
Somebody said it today. I think Thomas Frank's too of a nice guy, but look, I don't know what it is with ENIC. I don't trust them, Tequila. I think January window is going to be very telling for me which way they're going to pull. But I say it again, and I keep saying this. I got it confirmed by our sources that we use on this channel that Thomas Frank was a Levy pick. So he wasn't an ENIC pick. Before we get into the player ratings, welcome people into the show. Big up to everyone. Please like and subscribe if you can. On our search to 2,500 before Christmas and 3K before the end of the season. How long before ENIC start getting trigger fingers and start, right, we're going to pull the trigger here?
I think it's already started.
Are you called them Nuno 0.2? And I agree with you on that. It's very much Nuno 0.2. It is Nuno point. It is. I agree. When you said that to me a month ago, I'd went, yeah, not really. Come on. I agree with you now.
The parallels are actually, there's a lot of parallels because Nuno's proven he did very well for Wolves. He got, I think he got them into 7th one year, which for Wolves is amazing. So he came to us after managing a quote unquote smaller club and a club that did much better than they had any right to do. He came to us and bought us senseless, no shots on target. This is with Kane and Son. And then he lasted 3 months. Thomas Frank has come from a smaller club where he definitely overachieved. There's no getting around it. There's a lot of parallels there. Both managers are more pragmatic than they are free-flowing attacking football, which is quote unquote the Spurs way. I've seen people debating the Spurs way. Let's just call it, we tend to have a history of wanting to play a more attractive way of football. Frank doesn't seem to be that attractive.
No.
Football-wise.
No, you could argue it that you have to balance that. Look, I come from an era from Keith Bergshaw, growing up in the era where we had Delis, Hoddle, Waddle, Gaza, Gary Lineker. We had players, Hoddle and Waddle could change a game in the sixpence. Paul Gascoigne, we all know what a genius Gaza was. If it wasn't for his demons, I think Gaza would probably be the greatest player Britain has ever produced. I still think he's up there with Georgie Best, but it was his demons that got him. But what a talent he was.
David Clark in the chat demo. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I just got to take.
It's okay, bud.
You can go back to it. Mate, listen, I'm not calling for his head. For a start, right? Dermo can answer for himself. Dermo wants to answer that himself, he will, but I will answer it for me. I ain't calling for his head. I've more or less just said that no manager can probably get a tune out of these players. So I'm just saying that that's not actually accurate, my friend. That's all. It's up to you, Dermo, if you want to answer that yourself.
Because I do want to respond to it. Okay. David, look, I'm calling for his head because of not just of yesterday, because of what we've seen this season, because of what we've seen at Chelsea at home. Seen our home form. Yes, our away form's been brilliant, but have we rarely played anyone away from home? We'll always beat Man City. So that's a given, to be fair. Man City, we're the bogey team, so we're likely going to win against them. What got me yesterday, David, and you should know this, being a Spurs fan longer than I have, was there was no passion, there was no fight, there was no desire. It took us to 55 minutes to have a shot on target. At home to Chelsea, it took us to 50-odd minutes to have our first shot on target. I'm sorry, David, you're quick enough last year season coming here when I was back in Ange and slagging me off for back in Ange and criticising things I've said. I understand you have an opinion. I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying is probably true. It is true, but I don't agree with it. Doesn't mean that I have to change my opinion because you're saying it would be funny, not tragic. Well, if you're quite happy watching the Tottenham team turn up yesterday and have no fight and no desire and wait to 50-odd minutes to have a shot on target, have an XG lower than 007, lower than we had against Chelsea, which was shite, by the way, then you go ahead, man, and fill your boots. But I'm not going to sit here. I demand better. I demand a better team. I demand players come in and fight with desire and passion. It's a North London derby. The fans were more up for it yesterday. So were the fans wrong that were calling for his head at the stadium yesterday? Are they tragic? Who paid good money to go and watch a team play and not play at all? I'm going over on the 6th of December to watch us play Brentford. I don't know why I'm going over on the 6th of December to play Brentford. Mrs. Tron's looking at me thinking that you're off your head.
You are there, mate. Gotta be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. I am. Fair enough. You're not the only one to call me that. But the point I'm making is I want to go over and I want to see a team perform. I want to see a team fight. The least I expect is somebody to be tactically announced about his tactics and put up a bit of fight. Them tactics yesterday, he changed the tactics 3 times and none of it didn't touch Arsenal. And then the players said, well, what's the point? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's do 0.2 for me. And if you like watching that, then I'm not here to change anyone's mind. It's my opinion, my view. It's totally funny that me and Tequila have taken a complete 180-degree turn to how we were last season. Tequila was the one asking for Anja. I was the one saying, no, we need to keep him. And then sort of, 6-7 months later, it's 180. Do you know what I'm getting at, Tequila? It's funny how we've switched. That I don't mind being the bad guy, but
it's not about being a bad guy or a good guy. It's just look. I mean, with Ange, okay. I'm right. We know you want to come. I'm with Ange, right? We all know that this team is not the 17th worst team, but that doesn't mean that it's a great team either. I think if you look at our squad, and I said to Dermo, maybe we should probably do this at some point. Is to go over each one of these bloody players
actually, one night this week,
and really try to be as objective as we can, trying to take the Spurs health, which I know is difficult for a lot of people, right? And really try to analyze this team as much as we can with an outsider's point of view, and really just get an idea of how good this team actually really is. And then you can look at how good a job Frank's doing. That I'm not defending Frank, because I agree with Dermo, especially about when it comes to the players being up. I don't think there is an excuse for them not being motivated against Chelsea. There isn't an excuse for them not being motivated against Arsenal. And even Monaco, which is meant to be Champions League, right? This is meant to be the thing that these players meant to be the things these players care about. So I said to Derma yesterday that if we had another performance, I said this days ago, I said I don't care if we lose. I care, but I won't judge him if we lose. And that's not why I'm upset. I'm upset at the application. That's what upset me. And I said that if we have another Chelsea game, right, then there has to be questions asked of the manager and his ability to motivate these players, because it looks like to me that he's struggling to motivate them.
Yeah. Do you think he's lost the dressing room? I think I said it yesterday in the watch along that I thought some of the players weren't playing for him yesterday. I think they were throwing them under the bus a little bit. Did you get that sense?
I would hope not, because I'm not saying that I'm not in the dressing room any more than you are. Okay, I would certainly hope not, because it's way too soon, in my opinion. If they've given up on him that fast, right, then that is significantly worrying. But I'd also look at the players who've given up on him and think to myself, who are you? What have they? With all due respect, Dermo, the only one in our team, right, who I would understand may have a little bit of a hill to die on would be Romero, because Romero can turn around to Frank and say, you know what, mate, I won the World Cup. So I've got some, I've got a little bit of that to back me up. The rest of the players, they won a Europa League, a poor Europa League. I know we still won it. Don't get me wrong, but if they're all thinking they're big Billy bitch cakes now, excuse my language, right? They're all amazing players. They're not amazing players. None of them. Most of them are totally unproven. I told you, Romero is the one exception. You tell me anything else any of these players have won. What, Maddison? Did he win the FA Cup with Leicester? Maddison, maybe?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Maddison, who's injured all year.
Yeah.
So my point,
major miss for us.
He is. My point is that maybe if they're not playing for Frank, then I think they themselves are players, and I'm going to come down on the players real hard. I said this to them, I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Right? They're most of them are a bunch of prima donnas who think they're much better than they are. And maybe Dermo, sorry, just let me finish and it's all yours. And maybe Dermo, them winning Europa League could end up being real bad in the long term, because they might, if they already had real healthy egos thinking they were big shots, and you yourself has mentioned this, especially about somebody like Brendan Johnson, which you've been on to me about right from the start.
Yeah.
Right? And I get the feeling that may have trickled down to an awful lot of them thinking they're big shots now, when really only one of them can even have any kind of claim to that, and that's Romero. The rest of them, no. You finished 17th.
Where was he yesterday? He's captain. Where was he leading by example? Where was he taking this team by the scruff of the neck? Do you know, when we weren't playing? Where were the players shouting at each other to G each other up like, come on, do your job? There was none of that yesterday. You're spot on what you say, bud. Spot on. I can't disagree with anything you've said. Big up to Lockie Singh. Calling us for tavern tactless drivers, apparently. That's a good job to have, Tequila. Fair play to him.
Tavern Tacklers Drive.
Yeah. Cool. And he says we're a lovely Arsenal swats. So there you go. I think you come to the wrong channel, bud. We're a Tottenham channel, not an Arsenal channel. Anyway, should we welcome a few people in? We've had our monologue.
Yeah, little rant. Yeah.
We've had our rant. I want to say big up to Iceman, big up Dermo and Tequila and everyone in the chat. Great chat. Great intro, Dermo. We can thank Colin. He did the intro for us. We're having it updated, though, before the weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to update it for you. Turn up to PSG like that, and we could be in double feet. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to Wednesday together. I'm bringing a pillow with me to the watch along because I'm going to hide behind it. We've got Colin saying, do, Ezebici, Eze, do. Sorry, can you back off? Oh, God. Trust him to come in. They're playing tonight, aren't they?
Well, United, yeah.
Yeah, they're playing Everton tonight, aren't they? Good luck tonight, Colin. Hope you get 3 points. Hope not. I would rather the team at least have a go and lose than 0 shots and 28 possession. Just unacceptable. That's what's got me angry. That is what's got me so angry. O'Hara will fit into this team a treat because he was shite. I think O'Hara. I'm not O'Hara's biggest fan, but I think he had the right to be angry. Colin said you could have had Pep, Klopp, and Sir Alex, and you'd still be in this situation.
Agreed.
I don't think he's far wrong.
No, he's. I'll tell you what. The only one out of those three, to be honest, who might stand a chance would be Alex. But the other two, no. That's my opinion, of course. I think Sir Alex was just that amazing to me. Look what he did with Aberdeen. That he probably, somebody like that who's that legendary, might be able to do something with these guys. But yeah, that's about it.
David says Spurs have been building up some of these players for 3 years. It's getting on my tits because they are crap and still crap. Pep could do very little. I agree with that. I do agree with that. I agree with that. You bring back Poch, you would take 5 years step back. I agree with that. Me and Mia actually agree in this. That Mia started and I stick by it. That Poch is a loser. Yeah, he got us to finals and he got a second in, but he didn't win anything. No. But Tequila, your argument to that is sort of, well, he did achieve, but by not winning anything. So
I think if you look at it, I think if you look at it from just the league, I don't think I think that there's no competition in recent history other than Poch. But yes, you're right. Factually, he didn't win anything. Ange did. But then so did Wande Ramos. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Wande Ramos is better than Poch, so I'm certainly going to say that Ange is. George Graham might have been better than Poch, but George Graham might have been better because of the stuff he did with Arsenal, not the stuff he did for Spurs. And that's it for our recent cup history. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So you want to look at the 3 people who have won us trophies in the modern era in the last 25 years. So you're looking at Wande Ramos, Postecoglou, and George Graham. I think Poch is better than Postecoglou. I think Poch is better than Ramos. Yeah. Although Ramos, to be fair, I don't know if you guys remember this, he won the Europa League twice with Seville. Back
He
to
did
back.
actually.
Back to
He did.
back.
Daniel
So he
Levy thought he landed in his lap when he became Tottenham manager. He took
Exactly. So he himself wasn't a mug. I know he was dreadful for us, but then again, who isn't dreadful? Who isn't dreadful for us?
Do you know? Have we kicked a black cat somewhere along the way of the last? Did Enoch walk under a ladder or broke a mirror or kicked a black cat? I don't know. Yeah.
We seem to have people who don't really listen to the show, mate. I never said anything bad about Poch. I actually defend Poch. Dermo has his way of thinking regarding because Poch didn't win anything, but I've done nothing but defend Poch the whole time. So you got to listen to the show a bit more, bro. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's not like people just absolutely just lying, mate.
Yeah.
When have I attacked Poch? When did I ever? I've never attacked Poch.
I've always called Poch a loser.
I know. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. So I don't know. So with all due respect, them, I'm not throwing you under the bus. But Conte kicked up in the chat. You need to amend your comment and say, not you guys, but Dermo, because I'm not. Dermo is allowed his opinion. I don't agree. Me and Dermo don't agree on that. I don't think Poch is a loser. Don't. Factually, he didn't win anything. I can't argue with that. Yeah. But
I said that once to Philip Brady live on screen. Do you know he actually left the stream because I said that? The first time I ever said that, he literally left the stream.
Well, now I've got Com trolling me. Cheers, mate.
And what's he saying? What's Colin saying?
He's jumping on a bandwagon that I've attacked Poch, even though I've not said one bad thing about him.
All right. Big up to Nick, who's on tonight with Brenny. I never expect 3 points versus another top team away. The top team should win their home games. Getting a point is solid. 3 points exceptional. If this was at the Lane, I understand the dismay. I get it, Nick. You're very fair, and Brenny and Nick are probably two fair-minded Arsenal fans, actually, and Bobby as well. To be fair, Tequila. Though I did go on to an Arsenal post-match show yesterday.
I mean, I'll speak to that's Nick, isn't it? Right, the gentleman there.
Yeah.
I'll probably be on later on, so I can talk to you about it in person. But I'd say that we're not unhappy at the. Okay, I'll talk for myself. And I think some of the Spurs fans are not unhappy at the result, and we're unhappy, but that's not why we're up in arms. It's not the result; it's the performance. It's and more than that, we know. Look, most Spurs fans know, man for man, we can't touch Arsenal. We know this.
Yeah,
but there's no effort. That's it. That's why this outrage. It's not because we lost. We always lose it. We always lose to you guys at the Emirates. We always do. That's not the problem. The problem is it's how you lose. It's not just if you win or lose. It's how you lose. That's the problem.
To answer Brian's question, why are you frank out? Because of the performance we've seen this season, Brian. The Chelsea won and the Arsenal won on our home form. We keep playing for a point every game. It's not acceptable. I'm not accepting this. Look, it was one way. We've gone. The way I've looked at it is right. We've gone one way with Ange Postecoglou, all out attack. Now we've gone the completely 180 degrees. Now we've gone for all out defense. Can we not have a manager who's in the middle, that knows the Tottenham DNA? He knows the way we like to play. A bit of attack, but solid at the back, but we're free flowing at the front. Yes, you need to spend money. Yes, you need better players. I totally agree with that. Yes, we've got the worst front three in living memory. I get that. But this just is the front three that bad that he has to set up at home with a defense mentality that if we can get a point at home, he's happy with that. Are we that bad? Are we really that bad up front?
I would say with no Maddison, with no Kulu, and Solanke's our best striker. Not that he's amazing, but he's the best of the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
It is as poor a front line as I can remember. And that includes the teams in like the early 2000s and stuff with Everson, Armstrong, Zamora, all those guys. It's up there in that lower quality, that lower bracket. And back then, Dermo, we were finishing 12th, 10th, 11th. And then we started getting it. We started up in the quality with Dekeane, Defoe, the Berbatovs, and then we started pushing for the top fours. So we've gone back so much. We've gone back to being a mid-table team with a forward line that I'd say is, I wouldn't say it's championship. I'd say it's low Premier League.
It's
front
probably
line.
the worst I can remember in living memory.
It's up there. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And look, you talk about them teams back then, Tequila. At least they give a fight. They would lose, but at least I know the Arsenal team were better back in them days, but we would give it a go, wouldn't we? We would give 110%. And that's all I ask for. And when you don't get that, then you have to question the manager and the players. You have to question it. I'm sorry, you have to. Where we go? Big up to Tom FC 851. It said, "Hi lads, I think Thomas Frank is an Arsenal fan. Probably is. Big up to you, Brian. He says he loves the show. So big up to you,
Cheers,
Brian.
mate.
Thank you so much. That's great. And we appreciate that, don't we, Tequila?
Yeah, compliments are hard to come by on YouTube, so we do appreciate when you get them. So cheers, mate.
Just go through here. Colin is saying Poch is water. 100 is a way. Poch is a waste. 100% agree with you. It was me that said that, not Tequila.
Yeah, no, that's why he's done it. He's trolling me. Bless him.
Yeah. We've got but I don't know who this is. San Diego fan anyway. He says Spurs fan being obsessed with Poch shows why we have a small club in that. Look, but I would ask for Keith Birkinshaw to come back if he could, and he was our most successful manager since Bill Nick. That's where I got back.
My reply to that, mate, is that not everyone is obsessed with Poch. It was just a simple question regarding what could happen after Frank goes, and we were just saying that Poch is available. We all know he's available then, and it would make sense. And by the way, this is what Daniel Levy did when Enoch took over, right? When Enoch took over, who was the manager? George Graham. Arsenal George Graham, by the way. So right away, he knew he had to do something about that. And who did he go and get? Legendary player Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah.
You can see, and the idea is that, Glenn Hoddle can galvanise the new owners of Tottenham. And even though we're still under quote unquote the same ownership, it's different people in charge. At least we think so. So all it was is like if they wanted to galvanise the fan base, right, and tried to get behind, like I say, like a kind of talismanic manager, right? Who better than our most successful manager league-wise in the modern era?
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
But Dermo's right, and also Dermo, I actually think if Poch came back, it wouldn't work. I don't think it would work.
No, I don't think so. I think the fans wouldn't give him the time.
No,
I think Tottenham now, Tequila, are in look. Daniel Levy has left us, and I think it is right to blame Levy. He's left. We don't know whatever happened the day he left the football club. I don't think we'll ever know. Believe me, I've asked our sources what happened, and they can't tell me because they're still under NDAs. I still think there's football clubs up for sale. Do you know that? And I think that's where the January window is going to be very important because we need a striker. Now, apparently in the papers, we're going after the Porto striker. We know that if it's up for 20 million. Enoch, but this is the way I will put it. Are Enoch going to back a manager that the fans are against? Because it's all about putting investment in the manager, isn't it? About building the squad for that manager. Are they going to do that? Or are they going to say, right, you were a Levy pick, we're going to get rid of you, we're going to bring our own man in, and we're going to give him all the money? If you were Charlie or Viv or Vinay, right, I'm putting you in their shoes, Tequila, right? What would you do? If you were Vinay and you're in Daniel Levy's position, you have a choice to, are you going to invest in Thomas Frank, but you've seen what he's done so far? Or are you going to say, thank you for your time, Thomas. We're going to bring our own man in and we're going to invest in him. What would you do?
I would say thank you, Tom. Thank you, Mr. Frank, for steadying the ship. Ange Postecoglou was way too reckless. 17th is never acceptable. Hopefully, he will not finish. Frank, this is. I would give Frank the season and hope for a quote unquote respectable finish. What does that mean? Mid-table. Anything lower than mid-table, then there's an issue. With a very, very small, in my opinion, outside chance of getting into one of the lesser European leagues, so conference, because I don't think we're getting top 6. I said that at the start. So if I'm them, I'm already planning to get someone else because I'm going to be 100% honest. What has Thomas Frank ever done that suggests he could be trusted with loads and loads of money? That's not me judging him as a manager in other ways, right? I'm just saying when has he ever been in that position? Because he was never in that position at Brentford to spend much money because they just didn't have that much. He didn't have it in, was it Copenhagen, I think, where he was? So he's totally unproven in that area. So that's a massive, massive leap of faith that this board is going to have to give an unproven on that level manager, when it would make much more sense than to say, thank you for steadying the ship. We are mid-table. We're not in Europe next year because I don't think we're going to get Europe next year unless we win the FA Cup, which is a long shot, like it always is, right? And then they get in their own man. I don't know who the man is. I've just said Poch because it makes sense, but it doesn't have to be Poch just because the timing all adds up. That's the only reason, right? And then somebody who's got a much higher track record at the top echelons of football, with all due respect to Brentford, and then giving them the money. Somebody like a Conte or a Mourinho. And we screwed up with them because the timing was wrong. But if somebody said to me, Conte's coming back next summer, I'd be thinking, well, the football's going to be dull. But at least I would think, but hold on, this time he's going to properly get the players he wants. Okay, let's go for it. As long as we're all in this time.
Well, Matt Law has put something out on X, which I have sent it to our source. Now, I can't confirm this is 100% correct or not, so I am waiting for the 100%. Maybe we'll get it for 8 o'clock. But Matt Law is saying on X that Tottenham Hotspur want to give Thomas Frank time to get things right, despite fears around the club that Frank's numerous changes have contributed to inconsistency and the team's lack of attacking potential. Some players are thought to be keen for Frank to focus more on the strengths of his own team rather than the opposition, although it is unclear how strong and widespread that feeling is. That's from Matt Law. As I said, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm waiting for it to get confirmed from our sources. Once we get once we get the massive thumbs up, then we can say that's legit. But that's what's coming out from Matt Law. What's your before we get on to the player ratings together, which we are going to do now, what's your quick reaction to that from Matt Law?
I think that's actually quite a decent roundup, and I don't think I blame Thomas Frank for it. He's not used to it. Now that doesn't mean that he can't learn, by the way, but if he's learning on the job, it could come too late because he's learning on the job, and we know as well as I do, Spurs fans are not very patient. Most football fans aren't, to be fair, but we know that we're certainly not. He won't get the time if he's still trying to figure all this out. To change his ways since Brentford, because now he knows he's not at one of the small clubs, he's at one of the larger ones, right? But the time he figures it out, it'll be too late.
Yeah, that's true. I want to say big up tonight. I would actually want to say big up to Bingo. He says you're stupid lots. The man Poch out. Now you want him back. The Keeler made a very good point, but he doesn't want Poch back. I don't want Poch back, so I think you come to the wrong stream, lad. There you go. I can't stop venting today. I'm just I don't know what. So am I, bud. And I forget. YouTube have changed these names, and it's really frustrating because I can't remember who they are. Big up to Knights of the Republic. Dermo not being smart or bad, but Enoch have never backed a manager to win a trophy. I agree with that. Yeah, that's fair. Colin said Thomas Frank has never bought players either. They have always been club signings by the recruitment, and that is true. That was the same at Brentford as well. Knight says he agrees with you, Tequila, 100%. You're getting a lot of fans today, Tequila. Fair play. Big up to Moondog. Moondog, send me. I want you to do something for me for the channel. I know he did. He done some lovely. When we had TTG, he did me lovely Tottenham stuff for like where you put your cups on. I think he sent some to Coover as well. Moondog, could you do some stuff for? Email me and do some stuff for Tequila and myself for the channel. Because he's very good at the stuff he does.
Is that Moondog? Is it? I don't recognize the name.
Yeah.
Big up Moondog. Yeah, I know Moondog.
It is. I think it's Moondog. I think it is. Big up to Benny. Says Venai is a double agent as far as I'm concerned. Until he proves otherwise, I doubt it. Big up to you. Big up to Paige. Big up to Paige over from JYS. Big up. I hope you're doing well, Paige. She says, evening peeps in the background listening. Big up to you over there. Big up to your ladies over at JYS. They do a good quiz on a Friday, Tequila, which is fun.
You like Stacey, don't you? Am I getting you in trouble if I say that? That's what you
I'm saying nothing at the moment.
Okay.
Yes, that would be a very good play for us, Tequila.
Yeah. I'll zip it. I've talked to you about that another time.
Yeah, you're not very good on code, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Should we
Too
move
frank.
on?
Too frank, like a better term. Yeah.
Yeah, too frank. Anyway, big up to everyone who's in the chat, and big up Nice Pop. It says Frank is a steady Eddie manager. We need a proven winner. Yes, we tried Jose and Conte, but I think Nagelsmann or any younger manager, I take Ruben Amorim if United sack him. His sporting days were amazing. That is so true. And big up to Thomas Mullen. Big up to you. I've fan over 60 years. Well, there you go. These are the fans I like talking to, Tequila. These are the fans I think we should listen to, if I'm being honest. I've said for 3 years, Solanke, Madison, Johnson, Davis, Dragerson, Richarlison, Spence should all have been gone after last year. Worst Spurs side I have ever seen.
Even worse. I kind of agree, but even worse than some of the late 90s, guys. Some of the teams we had in the late 90s.
Right. I'm just waiting for if I can use. I have got some news coming in. So I'm waiting to know if I can get a thumbs up. If I can. Yeah, okay. Now, what I read here about Matt Lord, that is correct, Tequila. As of 4:30 today, after an internal discussion that's taken place today, players are getting fed up with his Brentford mentality, and that shows with his tactics. Now, if players are getting fed up with his Brentford mentality, Tequila, what's that telling you?
I actually probably am going to come down on the players again. I think that they should shut up. I think they should. I think I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm not absolving Frank from responsibility here, but what I'm trying to say is the players are out there on the pitch, right? Yes, they're following instructions to a certain degree, but if they haven't got the fight, right? And I think it might have been David who said in the chat, and I kind of agree with him. The coach can't really. He can try to motivate them, but if the fight's not there, that's something that comes from inside yourself.
Yeah. So are the players then throwing them under the bus then? Because they're not liking these tactics. Are they saying, right,
well,
we're not
it sounds like that could be the case. And to be honest, it makes me sympathise with Thomas Frank. Because these players are the same most players who finished 17th last season. When do they take responsibility for themselves?
They never do.
Well, that's a problem for me.
Yeah, they never do. I mean, Thomas says Berkshire. I can remember the Berkshire years as well, Thomas. Maybe you were. Maybe I've seen. I was born in '77, so I was a young kid by the time Berkshire finished the club. But I remember him. But I remember like Graham Roberts, Paul Miller, Chris Houghton, Tony Galvin, who we still wish the very best, and I hope he gets better soon. For all of us here on the channel, to him and his family. Aussie Idealist, Ricky Velia, Steve Archibald. Who's the other one? Oh, he's been on the BBC doing Final Score. What's his name? Oh, fucking hell. He scored 2 goals in the semi-final against Wolves at Highbury in 81.
Garth Crooks, is it?
Garth Crooks, that's it. Them players, right? Them players gave guts. If you didn't have a good game, I would guarantee you Graham Roberts will put you up in the dressing room, Tequila, and hang you on a peg and tell you and give you a lashing down. Steve Perryman, they will all give out to each other. Robbie Keane, you know, Ed de Davids, the player with the glasses.
Yeah.
He came from Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robbie Keane knocked him out in the training ground because he was acting like a prima donna.
Not shocked, to be honest.
No. So, yeah, that's it. And he goes on to say, Garth Cook, Shivers, Archibald, Perryman, these players, yeah, they are a joke, and I totally agree with you. You know, I absolutely agree. Tequila knows I go back to them years. I mean, I get criticised on other channel corners. I'm going back to World War II, but I do use them time as my sort of go-to point, don't I? Where you use the 90s, the late 90s, Ginola time as your go-to point. Even players then, Tequila. Would you see Ginola ducking out of a challenge, or Jermaine Genius, or all them players ducking out of a challenge, or not giving 100% in the North London derby? No.
Times have changed. That's a much deeper conversation to do with society. I do think that times have changed, but still, you're right.
Yeah. Right. Let's start. I agree with you, and I think it's a conversation we might have to have, Tequila, about player mentality and about. I think it's worth having, if I'm being honest, on another show. But definitely this week we are going to go through the squad, and we're going to do it impartially, and we're going to do it brilliant. We're going to do it impartially, and we're going to do it as honest as we can. So, and then we'll put it into groups. Keep, sell, loan. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to go through the squad. Tequila Vicario, I gave him a 5. I didn't think he was the worst player out there. David Clark's given him an 8. The reason I gave him a 5 was he had no chance with the 4 goals, made good saves, but I don't think he was. I think for the first goal he could have done a bit more. I know it was deflected.
His wrists were a little weak for certainly
Yeah.
the second one. I think he could have maybe have knocked that wide. Could have maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's harsh.
Do you agree with the 5, or would you go different, Tequila?
I already told you I was going to do this demo. He gets a 1.
What? Will any player get more than a 1?
I'll give him one player will get more than a 1. Yes, one player.
One player, me, gets a -10 because I don't think I saw him on the pitch. Kevin Danso, I gave him Destiny, your doggy. Sorry, I've done it differently. Your doggy, it was a bad game for Destiny. I don't think he had a good game yesterday, to be fair. I don't think he suited the system Thomas Frank set out for him, and I think he looked a bit lost out there. That's why I give him a 3.
1. Rubbish. I don't hate the kid, and he is still a kid. But I also don't think he's a wing back. I know he played 3-5-2 at the start of the game, but I was surprised. I'll be honest, I was surprised. I did expect a bit more because I do think that is his best position as playing in a 3-5-2. But that's the thing. Because Thomas Frank decided, and this is on Frank. This part is on Frank. He played it more as a 5 at the back rather than a 3-5. He did. Midfield. He played it. He was a back 5 rather than the kind of.
So it was a more 5-4-1.
Yes, and that isn't. I don't think that does suit our fullbacks in general. So there we are.
I don't think so. Kevin Danso, 2 for me. Poor game for Danso. I think he could have stopped the first goal going in if he was positioned better. But I think a poor game overall. So 2 for me. I know you're going to give him a 1, but was this his worst game?
I think the more I'm seeing of Danso, the more it's like, he's really good in the air, but everything else seems to be a bit lacking in. So against teams who want to pump it into the air, then fine, by all means, he'll do a good job. But when it comes to everything else, there's a lot of cracks starting to show, don't you think?
Yeah, there is. I agree with David. Probably effort. It's probably a 3 because of plenty of effort, but positioning was poor. I agree with that, Dave. Maybe I was for effort, but I don't think he showed a lot.
I mean that's a good point. If I'm ranking all of them a 1 for effort, so I'm kind of joking. If I gave them real things, then probably they would be maybe 4s and 5s. But because I want to be harsh on them because I'm upset. I want to be harsh on them. I can't hammer them. I can't go into the locker room myself and say, "You guys suck. You should be ashamed of yourself." Which is what I actually do think.
Hammering them.
This is the closest I will get. So when it comes to all of their mentality, they're all getting a 1. Every one of them.
Yeah. Christian Romero, 3. Christian Romero, Patterson was off yesterday and did not lead the team. I didn't think, for me, Tequila, he's the captain. He's supposed to be taking the team by the scruff of the neck. He's supposed to lead by example. And I think he was off it yesterday. I really do.
Fair weather captain.
I don't know what it is. Pardon?
I'm starting to feel that he's a fair weather captain. When stuff's going well, he'll lead by example. But when the chips are down, not so much.
He did it against Wolves last season. Do you remember where he was captain? He walked straight off the pitch at the end of the game. Mickey van der Ven gets a 3 for me. Mickey had an okay game, played Marino on for the 3rd goal. Did get a deflection for the first one as well, trying to block it. It wasn't his greatest game for Tottenham, if I'm being honest, Mickey. Do you think do you think he's one of the players that are getting frustrated with Thomas Frank's?
Oh yeah, 100%. We already saw the cracks with him and Spence the other week. That of course they're going to come out in the media and say it's all been forgotten. But Dermo, come on, let's not be naive here. They obviously don't really like his tactics. So that report you read, not shocked at all. But I do think they should still be accountable. One for you, Mickey. You're one of my favourite players in the squad. But that doesn't absolve you of your responsibility. So you get a 1 as well.
Here's a question: Mickey van der Ven in an Arsenal team, does that make him a better player?
No.
I heard it today in Talk Sport.
Yeah, I heard it too. No, I know what the reference is because I heard the same thing you did. No, not for me. I understand what the point was. The point was that all the defenders would be better in the Arsenal team because they just do more defensive drills. That was the argument, and maybe there is merit to that. I don't know. I don't know how many drills Frank has got. Me and you don't know on the pitch how many defensive drills they have them do.
No.
But according to can't remember the gentleman it was who said it on TalkSport. It was one of the ex-Arsenal players, wasn't it? But
yeah. Look, for me, Mickey van der Ven, I think he's a great player. I think he's a better captain than Romero, in my view. But yeah, poor yesterday for Mickey. Unusually poor, Tequila, because he's one of the players when we do play bad. He's the one.
I think he's been our best player this season overall.
He has,
but that doesn't mean that he doesn't escape, Dermo.
Well, that's where the thing came from, wasn't it? He's been our best player this season. So if he was into the Arsenal team, would he be a great player this season? I think that's where, and also he's had 5 hamstrings injuries before he's 24, I think, or 23. So he's got great pace, but we're playing so defensive, we're not using his pace. I think it's.
Well, he was bought to play in Ange's system, and we don't play Ange's system anymore.
No, that's true. Jed Spence yesterday gets a treat for me. A bad night for the Jedi. I don't think he was good yesterday at all, Tequila. I thought he was very quiet. Not good in positioning. Not good. Didn't really got involved in the game much. Bad night for Jed, I think.
I tend to think he's a bit overrated by us anyway. But yeah, I agree. Yeah. Not good. 1 out of 10 for your mentality, though. Yeah,
definitely. Rodrigo Bentancur, Eurocrine General. Not Eurocrine General anymore. It's Eurocrine Donkey. Not at the races. Bad game. Absolutely woeful. He would have got a 1 for me, but he got 2 for actually learning. He got 2 for me for pulling on his kit right. Now, he did get sent off during the week, Tequila. Do you think that might have been playing on his mind?
I'd like to hope not. Just because you got sent off in another match shouldn't affect you for this match, mate. If it has, then again, I'm questioning his mentality. I already have questioned it, but I'm questioning his focus and his professionalism.
Yeah,
that shouldn't affect. What's that got to do with what happened to Spurs? Were you sent off for Spurs in a week? No, right then. So what's that got to do with it affecting Spurs?
He was poor yesterday. Absolutely poor. We've got now. I think Pailunia for me, Tequila was the best player on the pitch for Tottenham. He tried, and I have put one of the few players who tried, and he was yesterday. He did try to get about. He did try to block stuff. He did try to get in there, but he can't run the midfield by himself. So he gets a 5 from me. Captain, is he captain material as well, Tequila? Pailunia?
No, not been here long enough, dude.
No, that's true.
I didn't think it was right that Maddison was made part of that triple thing last year. It should have just been Sonny and Romero, or just make it just Romero, because that's what obviously they should have done. So no, I think the captain's at least got to be in here. So I would say at least about 3 or 4 years at the very least. So maybe in a couple of years if he's still here, if we sign him on a permanent deal, of course.
Yeah. But yesterday, 5, fair enough.
He was one of the better players on the pitch, but even I'm questioning his mentality. 1 out of 10. So none of them are escaping, Dermo. None of them are escaping.
We've got Mohamed Kudus 5. Looked like a player who had been out for weeks, never got going. I gave him 5. He tried. I think that was one of the few players who tried, but he has been out for weeks though. Tequila, it's his first game in a while, so he's not ready super match fit. I suppose you can get fit in training. But playing, I think, is a wholly different kettle of fish. So I thought he tried yesterday, but one of the few I thought that tried.
We're way too reliant on him, don't we?
Yeah, we are. To be fair, we're very much reliant too much.
He's everybody's outlet. And again, it's just I'm talking about the mentality. It's the players not having either confidence in their abilities, right, to keep the ball themselves, right, and shifting the buck, passing the buck. Our team's a bunch of cowards, Dermo.
Yeah.
Does that? And you tell me then, Dermo, quickly, right? Does that? How much of that comes from the manager? I don't know. Because people have been saying that Frank is playing cowardly. I think the players are being cowardly as well. How much of that comes from the manager?
I think 50% comes from the manager, and I think 50% comes from the players. Everyone's got to take responsibility for yesterday.
Fair enough.
Everyone takes a slice of the pie. Nobody escapes, in my view. And that's my view. Wilson Odebear, he gets a 3 for me. Played as a 10, played in a 10 alongside Kudus. Not strong enough and didn't compute enough either. Not his position. Not his position at all. He's a winger, and that's where he plays. He's not a 10. So Thomas Frank, again, getting this is where I think he got it tactically wrong yesterday. He was playing a 3-5-2-1. That was his. I think that was his formation yesterday. He had Kudos and he had Odebear as number 10s behind Richie. It ain't gonna work, and that's where he gets a 3 for me. He was woeful yesterday.
Yeah, I agree with you. Nothing to add. 1 out of 10 mentality. Yeah.
And then Richie.
Right, here's a shock. Here's a shock. Go on then. You do it first. I'll give you my rating.
He scored a goal from the halfway line.
Yeah.
And do you know what, Tequila? A goal in any North London derby, right? That would go down as the greatest goal ever scored if that was the winner. Or do you know, if it got us a draw or something? Do you know, we'd be singing oracles around it. But he worked hard. I put down, scored a great goal, but worked hard, but could not bring players into the game. I think that's what the problem was. He's not a player to bring other players in, like Harry Kane could, or like other great strikers that are playing that up there by themselves and hold on to the ball and bring other players into it, bring wingers into it, or bring your Cam into it, and then pass it up to them and then get into the box, get the goal. I thought Richie Bott for me, 5 for me, because he worked hard. He scored a great goal and he worked hard. I did say the watch along. Me and James both said he was working hard.
I will give him a 2, not a 1.
Yay!
The mentality is a 1 like the rest of them, but because that goal was so special, I'll give him an extra point, because that he'll probably never score a better goal that his entire life. Most players in the world won't be able to score a goal like that. The vision required, the technique required, it makes you wonder, mate, you got that in your locker. Why are you so crap the other 99.9% of the time?
That's the point. He has it in his locker.
Well, then why is he so rubbish for the whole? Why is he so bad 99% of the time then, Dermo?
Yeah. This is David's one. Richarlison 9 for the goal, -8 because his side never won one header from a long ball. Never held up the ball, destroyed the grass, been on. Yeah, that's so true. Maybe I was a bit harsh. Maybe I'll give him a 2. All right, that's it. I'm downgrading them to a 2 now. And then when he said Richie for footballer player who makes a good statue. And then Colin said he worked hard so he gets a 5. My missus works hard, but if she's still doing netball, I won't say great job. I'm giving him a 2. I've downgraded him. I can downgrade him to a 2. I'm going with Tequila. It's safe for Tequila. Now subs, Tequila. Simmons tried, but nothing came off for him. Sarr had some legs, but added nothing. Cola saw nothing of the ball on the left-hand side. Porro did nothing. And Johnson, right. Johnson, right. He's not. I didn't put him on the subs bench because I didn't know he actually was on the pitch. I didn't know he came on. I did see one picture of him sitting in the West East stand eating the hot dog with an Arsenal fan.
Was he doing a funny face like he likes to do?
Yeah,
that would have been like icing on the cake for you.
Please tell me, when did Johnson came on? Because I didn't even know he came on. That shows how
you were
bad
watching
he
the
was.
game live, there, man. You don't know when he came
I
on.
know.
But that says, oh no.
Well, I mean, his best mate is Casper the Ghost. He just puts the invisible cloak like Harry Potter did. You know, he walks around with Harry. He walks around with Hermione and Rodney. Ron,
No, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Do you know he puts his yeah, that's what I said. That's he puts his invisible cloak on and disappears. Simmons 4. I give Papasar 3 and Carlo 3. Go on, give us your score prediction.
One's rubbish. Rubbish.
Yeah.
No mentality. Rubbish. I'm less harsh on the subs, obviously, because they came on when the game was already well lost. So I'm less harsh on them. But sorry, ones. Don't care.
Colin says, "I'll tell you what Simmons looks like. He isn't quality of a Premier. No, he isn't. That's the conversation you are going to have as well, together, about that. But that was our player ratings. Oh, sorry, I took the wrong thing down. Sorry, I didn't mean to take you out, bud. Wasn't looking what I was doing. That is our player rating. So let us know in the comment section if you agree or disagree. If you agree with and let us know about the conversation we talked to tonight in this player rating show. Let us know. I tell you what I'd love to do, maybe a pre-record off, is doing Twitter react. So put something up on our Twitter page and see how people react to the games. Maybe that might be a bit of fun to do, Tequila. And also next Wednesday, we're doing our first ever fan show. So if you're a member, you get to come on. So join me, because there's no game next week, so we can actually fit in a week. So we've got a fan show next week, a member show next Wednesday. So join us for that. Tequila, you and me are back on at 8 o'clock with Nick and Brenny, the two boys from the Football Takeover. I know they're going to be gloating. But
yeah, we're going to be put through the ringer a little bit, aren't we?
Well, I went on to an Arsenal bloody show last night.
We just asking. You're asking for a hiding, mate.
I know. I did. To be fair, they were very kind to me. They were. Just a couple of things. We've got no passion, no fight. What went wrong emotionally? Thomas Frank under pressure. We also talk about key players not stepping up and Fran's frustration. Is it justified? And also, where do Spurs go from here? So they're the talking points tonight. I'll also give the very latest from. We'll go into a bit more in depth on the news that we got from our sources today as well. And also, Tequila, where can people find you, bud?
You can find me on here with Dermo, and you can find me on the Play Pouch, which is a little gaming channel by some 40-year-old nerds, including myself, who's the only cool one of the group. Com's on there, who's not as cool as me. Just ask him. And he will be soon. Bless him. And the South Park will be continuing sometime this week. So after 9 p.m. definitely. So yeah, join us for more South Park video games. Lots of rude stuff and quite funny. It's like being in an episode, Demo, if you've ever seen South Park. It's like being in an episode.
Colin's very kindly. Look at him. Bless him. He's been so supportive, isn't he?
Yeah, you're gonna go watch his Blessed United. Good luck, mate.
Very quick before we go, Tequila. Just one question I meant to ask you. Any games that he's got? Yeah, I know you're not. You're nowhere near. I'd be 50. I don't know. I'd be 50 something by the time you're 40. Liverpool. We're talking about Tottenham being in the mire. Just very quickly, I'm going to talk about it tonight, Tequila. How much of is Slot under pressure at Liverpool? Because they're really under the. They're really.
It is quite an impressive fall from grace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Considering how amazing they were last year, and then the amount of money they spent. I mean, I don't know if I've seen such a change around in fortune so fast. It's certainly absurd. That's the word I use. It is actually quite absurd because not one person could ever have predicted it. I'm sorry, not one person thought that this would be happening. Unfortunately, Dermo, the byproduct is Arsenal were. Look, I think they're going to do it this year, so prepare yourself.
Look, I always said it. If Arsenal win the league, it'll bother me for a couple of days, and then it'll go over it.
Yep.
It's it's all about what we do. I'm more concentrated on what we're going to do. But we
True.
are back at 8 tonight, guys. So do join us for the post-match show. Sadly, North London is red, but no passion, no fight. We're really going to get into it, and the stats as well. And we're going to have Brenny and Nick join us from the Arsenal side. So it could be like an extra episode of the North London podcast. But guys, thank you all for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Big numbers again in this show. So thank you so much for joining and getting involved in the chat. Whatever you do, Tequila, take us out, bud.
Hey, mate, if it would have been me in charge, we would have won 10-0, mate. Just who I am, mate. They're so Spursy.
Oh, the good old days. Good night.
Lanes are far and wide, with the pride of the fight. On this journey we'll arrive, with our passion burning.